Yeah. It's better. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, Kerry Daigle here from the big city of Prairieville, Louisiana. Yeah, we got a rocking show tonight, so appreciate all of you tuning in. We have a lot of fun. Those of you that attended episode 1 had the opportunity to meet Jeff Roberti, where we spoke about the trials and tribulations, the #1 income earner that even Jeff encountered, all the problems and the things that happened in his career, while he went ahead and still set some network marketing records. I mean, nonstop, not only with our company, but in the industry of direct sales altogether. Now tonight, we're gonna focus on how Juice Plus was introduced to our company. A story many of you have probably never heard. The magic of Dr. Humbert Smokey Santillo, who's listening in tonight, by the way, and the genius behind Jay Martin and Jay Martin's former vice president of sales, Mr. John Black. Challenges, sure. Change? Well, we've had lots of change. And the non-believers exited because of a negative mindset. But the really strong stayed focused and history was made. There are some humorous stories. I mean, really funny stories too. And we're going to share some of those tonight. Now let's have some fun and a little bit of education and some motivation. So Jeff, you know exactly where I'm headed with this, the introduction of Juice Plus. Let's go for it.
Okay, well, thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Danny and Jim and everyone that's on the call here tonight. Welcome to the Juice Plus family, the company with a heart. This is part 2 of our 3-part series. And just to kind of recap a little bit about what we talked about last week, I shared my story and some of the ups and downs, and it hasn't been all easy and smooth sailing. And there's been a lot of press, just staying committed and staying consistent through good times and bad times. I think I ended the last call and told you guys after the water and air business, we lost over 500 NMDs. I did in my organization and had to start over. And people like Kerry and Mickey and Danny and some of the leaders that are on the call that stayed have really reaped the benefits of staying with Jay Martin and staying with Juice Plus and staying committed to this company. I was over in Europe working in Germany, and this was back in the early 90s. And I was dating a girl from Kansas City at the time. Her name was Crystal. And Crystal was at a juicing seminar up in Kansas City with the juice man, the guy with the big bushy eyebrows, Jay Cordish or whatever his name was. And Santillo, Dr. Smokey Santillo, was there with him. And she went to this juicing seminar. And as she was coming home to see me in Sarasota, Florida, guess who sat next to her on the plane? Dr. Smokey Santillo. And Dr. Smokey Santillo started telling her about this concept of turning the juicing into a powder, turning it into juice powders. Well, she got excited and said, you got to talk to my boyfriend. He's over in Germany. The company needs something like this. They've been talking about getting a consumable, blah, 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 blah. And Smokey reaches out to me and I sign a non-disclosure. And it was interesting because I don't know if any of you have ever juiced before, but my experience with juicing was the time I went and shopped, chopped, slopped, and mopped for one little glass of juice. I didn't want to be healthy that bad. I mean, I think I juiced my first and my last day in the same day. But when she had said, when I talked to Smokey about the concept of turning the juice into a powder, and you could have the juice powders, and the story that he had told me about his dad and what had happened, and I signed the non-disclosure, and I was very excited because I was telling Jay Martin, we need a consumable, something that people will eat and use month after month after month. And Jay, you know, when we were in the water and air filtration business, it was an appliance, approximately $200 appliance. He was actually considering juicers at the time. And a long story short, I got Smokey to go up to Memphis, and he goes up to Memphis, and John Blair was instrumental in this meeting. And Smokey goes up to Memphis, Tennessee, to meet with Jay. And they're in the conference room, and Smokey's got a bag of the green juice powders in a Ziploc baggie. And they're sitting in the conference room. He takes a scoop of the green powders, mixes it up in a glass of water, slides it over to Jay. Jay drinks it. He's got a big green mustache and says, Smokey, meet you's gotta be the worst day of my life. And somebody, John or somebody in the room, came up with the idea, what if we put it in a capsule and you drank it with water instead of trying to drink it? And that was how Juice Plus was born. Smokey is brilliant with the juice powders and what he came up with and the whole concept. And then John Blair took it to NAI, Natural Alternative Ink. And then they do our juicing process and our flash drying process and our encapsulating. And that was how Juice Plus was born. But it's interesting, Carrie. You know, so we have Juice Plus, we have this great product, this world-class product, these juice powders. And at the time, we thought, well, who could help us promote this or market this? And we thought, who better? This is back in the early 90s now, it's back in 93, than the Heisman Trophy winner, the all-time leading rusher, the guy that's running through airports on Hertz commercials, OJ, the juice man. And we had him in Memphis, had a convention, or not at a convention, but a meeting with the leaders at the Embassy Suites there in Memphis. And I'll never forget, I got a picture with OJ with the Juice Plus jacket on. I'm standing next to him. And they had the literature all printed. We were going to have him at our first Juice Plus conference. And the crime of the century happens, guys. We turn on the TV and we can't believe what's just happened. And that was the intro of Juice Plus. And we thought celebrities or maybe an athlete, a Heisman Trophy winner, that type of thing. And then that was a big turning point for us, Carrie. That was where we decided, and Jay decided, which was brilliant, why don't we do the clinical research? Why don't we do the studies, these peer-reviewed medical journals, these gold standard studies all over the world? And why don't we have doctors, healthcare professionals that embrace prevention and wellness and see the research and see the studies, that they would be comfortable not only taking the product, but attaching their name to this product. And that's how we made a huge shift. And then we not only did the research and had the healthcare professionals, but then we had, I remember Mitra and Carrie, you had a doctor back then that we even took because if we could get somebody to come out to a presentation and hear the doctors talking about Juice Plus, everybody wanted to get on the product. But it was difficult sometimes to get people to the meeting. And we started recording the doctors on cassette tapes, and we could take the meeting to the people, not only doing the presentations, but able to take it. And another big turning point, Carrie, did you want to add anything to that real quick?
Just really funny when we look back and we were thinking, okay, naturally, you and I were talking quite a bit about hey, how do we market this? How do we market this thing? And, you know, the greatest running back in the history of NFL, man, we get him in, put him on stage, and thank goodness for John Blair, but he came up with the idea of getting all these studies done. It looked like the thing with OJ was going to work out real well for us.
Well,
that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about, why don't you share a little bit when we first started? We didn't have all the studies, and we were running around with these orange boxes on our arm.
yeah.
And having to retail the product, collect the money, and then go back in 4 months and bring them another box.
Yeah. Well, when we first came out with Juice Plus, we really didn't know how to sell it because we had this orange box. I mean, billions of dollars later, millions of satisfied customers around the world, millions of children on the health study. But when we first started, we had an orange box and we were trying to sell the box, the whole 4-month supply, to somebody up front. And we would not only have to sell it, but we'd have to collect the money from the people and try to sell them a box. And we came up with an idea of, what if we had an installment sale? Jay said, okay, what if we would ship the box? We would ship by the box, a 4-month supply, but people could pay by the month. And we did the installment sale, which spread out the sale, which really made this thing work for people, and it made it click. And that was how Juice Plus was born. That's the Juice Plus story. And Smokey, we thank you today for this, just brilliant idea to turn the juice into a powder, keep it a live food, and make it convenient and affordable for people to flood their body with all these organically grown, vine ripened fruits and vegetables. And it bridges the gap of what we should eat and what we do eat. And it's just touched so many people's lives around the world. So the Juice Plus was born, Carrie. And anything you want to comment on that?
Well, we did it the hard way. I remember that real well when we first started. And we were trying to figure out, how do we get more people to listen? And of course, when the studies came out, it became a whole lot easier. But you know, change, if anyone listened to my recording earlier before this call, I talk a lot about change. And change can be very positive if you've got the right attitude. Well, I think what we're going to have here, Jeff, what I'd like to cover a little bit is about people rolling up. In other words, people who were exiting the company and they were going to other companies because of change. 93, Juice Plus came out, and we were so accustomed to our environmental products. There we go. There's somebody you can knock out, Jim. Knock him out, buddy. Knock him out. But so here we are.
Oh, yes.
We got people that are leaving the company. You know.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I'll just.
They weren't used to change. And so what happens? There's what we call a roll up. And the ones that hung around, that stayed for the long haul and believed in the company and believed in Jay and believed that we really had a good company and a good system, and we believed in Jay Martin, we hung around. And the rest is history. Would you mind sharing a little bit about the effects of a roll up and how positive that can be? Well, for you especially.
Well, you know, when we had everybody, when we had the mass exodus of people leaving after the water and air business, and we had to rebuild and start over, there's something in our marketing plan called dynamic compression. And sometimes here's something that's really a good lesson for a lot of people. It's not sometimes the person you sponsor personally. You know, everybody's a doorway, not a destination. You know, they could lead you. There's really good people in the downline. And so an example is there was probably 10 people between Carrie and Mickey and I, and when they all dropped up, Carrie rolled up front line. So understand that the compression in our
rolled up front line. I was on Mickey had signed me up. She went front line. Yeah. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it's incredible how the marketing plan works and how the compression works on it. So my advice to people is, sometimes it's not the person you sponsor front line. You work in your downline, you chase your business, and there's good people under there. But if you're consistently just focused on the basics and the fundamentals of sharing this product and sharing this opportunity and putting other people's needs ahead of your own and adding value to their lives and creating these raving fan relationships, your business will grow. And the marketing plan will reward you for that. So I guess the thing there, Carrie, is you never know who in your organization is going to compress up or step up and become one of your top national marketing directors in the company.
We talk about this a lot too, Jeff. And I hate to use the word lotto ticket, but sometimes somewhere, when you're building your business, someone that's not that active ends up finding a lotto ticket somewhere in your organization, and then your whole life changes. Everything changes if you're paying attention. And you never know who that person is going to be. You might want to shadow them down a little bit in some of the experiences you had there.
Yeah, I mean, there's I'll never forget Jim Rohn sharing with me the law of averages and safety in numbers. You just never know. It's almost like if you were shucking oysters and you shucked 100 oysters, you might get a pearl right away, or it might be down to the 90 some oysters that you had to shuck to find that pearl. But here's my attitude, Carrie. I love everyone, whether they do a little or a lot. I care just as much about my customers as I do my presidential PMD plus marketing directors, and the value of a customer. And you never know when somebody is going to hear it or see it or feel it differently and engage at a different level. I have found in my organization, it kind of works like this. It's 80, 15, and 5. 80% of the people do it part-time, sometime, or no time. And that's okay. And that's just the way it is. 15% of the people might engage and play at a little higher level and maybe step up to sales coordinator or move up in the pay plan. But less than 5% really go after this thing and become a marketing director and treat this like a business, not like a hobby. And so you just got to understand that if you keep the funnel full and you keep putting in new customers and new partners, you're going to find those good ones, but you got to go through the numbers.
The thing too, Jeff, and we talked about that quite a bit. When change happens, a lot of people go south or they go negative. They get afraid. Well, what's happened recently in the last 2.5 years, we went primarily into hiding, because of this pandemic. Everybody went kind of hide and stay away from all the challenges that were going on for 2.5 years. And a lot of people have gotten in a mental fog. But what happens during that change right now creates opportunity, because the whole globe, the entire world, is now up to date on what needs to be done to build their immune system. And we got the #1 product in the world with absolutely no competition, because we've got over 40 published studies. We're NSF certified. And so we've got the #1 product in the world that can prove its effectiveness through these studies, and that it does build the immune system. And on top of that, people were losing their jobs, or they were being forced to work out of their home. Well, after 2.5 years, all of a sudden, Jeff, they're liking it at home. They're saying, I kind of like this. And the ones that lost their jobs were looking for another profession. What does that mean? That means that I really believe, and you and I discussed that just recently, that in the next 2.5 to 3 years, there are going to be some records broken in our company. And over the 30 years that we've been involved, we're going to see records broken in the next 3 years, because that change has created opportunity, because more people are up to date in what needs to be done to build their immune system. And we've got the answer, and also the opportunity to build a business out of their home, which they've gotten accustomed to. So right now is an opportune time, as we discussed earlier, for people to go out and find new partners, and also go out and find new customers, right?
Yeah, Carrie, I want to jump in on that because I truly believe the best years are ahead of us, not behind us. And as the top income earner in Juice Plus, I truly believe the biggest earners haven't even been signed up yet. The future with Juice Plus is very bright. And if you look at what's going on in the world today, the two biggest concerns people have today is health and wealth. People are trying to figure out a way that they can take self-responsibility for their own health. And Juice Plus is not just good timing, it's timeless. It's foundational. When you talk about fruits and vegetables, this is something that's not going to go out of style. This is something that people know that they need to get more fruits and vegetables into their diet. And like I said, we make it convenient and affordable for them to flood their body with all these organically grown, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables. And then if you look at the opportunity, I'm just excited about the opportunity as I am the product, because here's a chance for somebody to be able to be their own boss, earn what they're worth, to have free enterprise, and to go out there and start at the bottom and work their way up to the top. And, you know, we talk about making this big money sometimes, but a lot of people today, if you could show them a way to make an extra $500, $1,000 a month, part-time magic, the magic of part-time. And then all of a sudden they believe that they can go to the next level. So here's what I would say. We're in high demand. Our product is in high demand. Our opportunities in high demand. We meet two needs at a very high level. And so for people that are looking for a way to take self-responsibility for their health, take self-responsibility for their own financial future, we have a home for them. I tell people, look, this is the greatest opportunity we've ever had in our lifetime with Juice Plus. The one thing you don't have is to say you've never been at the right place at the right time. You are at the right place at the right time, but it doesn't mean you get the prize. You got to go to work. You got to go out there and do the basics and the fundamentals. And if you go out there and start sharing this product and sharing this opportunity, I believe in the next 3 to 5 years, Carrie, you could compress a lifetime of work in the next 3 to 5 years and have residual income for the rest of your life. So we've got some exciting things coming up. We got our call 3 that we're going to get into more on building the business and what to do next in the future. I don't want to get into that tonight. We're going to do that on our next Monday night call. But a couple things that are coming up you should have on your calendars. Our big convention in Atlanta that we have coming up in October. We just confirmed we're going to do an advanced leadership training. Carrie, I was sharing this with you today on Wednesday, the day before, from 1 to 8, right there at the convention center in the auditorium. We're going to get the flyer out on that. It's going to be incredible. And there's just so many exciting things. I'm getting ready to go over to Europe for the month of September and do a tour with Simon Bowler and go to 9 different countries and 15 different cities. So this is the time now to seize the moment, to strike while the iron's hot, to have that sense of urgency, to have that fear of loss and go out there and hit it. So Carrie, I appreciate you having me on the call tonight. It's been my pleasure. I want to personally thank Dr. Smokey Santillo for bringing this product to us because it has touched so many people's lives. We've made such a difference. And, you know, I look at my income with Juice Plus, and you know how I look at it? It's a measuring stick of the amount of lives that I've touched directly or indirectly with this product. And the same thing with the opportunity. So when you know what you know about Juice Plus, it's really not an opportunity. It's a responsibility. How could you not go out there and share this with somebody? Share the gift of health. I look at that box like it's got a big red bow on the hood, on the box, on the top of it. And I'm sharing this gift of health with people. So Dr. Santillo, Smokey, thank you. Thank you, Jay Martin. Thank you, Carrie and Mickey and Danny and Jim and all the leaders that are on this call. Let's go out there and keep making a difference in the world. One of the reasons I stay plugged into this, my why has evolved over the last 35 years, is I truly love what I do and I get to add value to people's lives. And success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure in life. How many people do you know that have the money, but they don't have the meaning and the purpose and the fulfillment? In our business, we're rich in relationships. We're rich in love and connection. We're rich in growth. Aren't you the happiest in life when you're growing and there's progress? And rich in contribution. That's why I'm in this business. That's why I'm on this call tonight, because somebody tonight is listening in, and it's your turn now. It's your chance. And if you've been searching like I was searching, I was praying to God to bring me something. And if you've been searching like I was, welcome to the Juice Plus family. Welcome to the company with a heart. You have found a home. So Carrie, thank you for having me on the call tonight.
Well, this was outstanding, Jeff. What a great story. So people that have never heard the story, they get a chance to hear it tonight. I'm excited, Jeff. After 35 years, here you are traveling across Europe. Mickey and I are going to go spend the same month. We can go spend some time in Mexico, in a new country. They're celebrating their 2nd year anniversary. So we're going to go attend that. So why are we, after 30-something years, traveling in other countries to be able to build Juice Plus? Because the timing is better now than it's ever been since the day you signed your application, without a question. To everyone listening in, we appreciate all of you. Next week, secrets on building a dynasty. Be sure you tune in, call your team, keep punching. Shut it down, Jim.
Thank you.